Hello friends, welcome to Physiology Matters. In this video, we will discuss homeostasis. So, content of this video, first we will see definition of homeostasis, then feedback control mechanisms. First we will see negative feedback mechanism and then we will see positive feedback mechanism. So, first definition of homeostasis. So, what is homeostasis? This is the maintenance of nearly constant conditions in the internal environment of the body. So, what is the internal environment of the body? So, this is ECF, that is extracellular fluid. So, maintaining the constant conditions in extracellular fluid. So, this is homeostasis, and this term it is introduced by the scientist W.B. Cannon. Okay. Then feedback control mechanisms. So, first negative feedback mechanism. So, what is this negative feedback mechanism? A series of changes that return the factor towards a certain mean value, thus maintaining the homeostasis. So, this is known as the negative feedback system. If there is increase in some value, okay, what will happen? In negative feedback mechanism, there will be decrease in that value till it reaches to the mean value. So, this is negative feedback mechanism. Now, most of the control systems, they act by this mechanism, that is negative control mechanism. Now, which are the examples of this negative feedback mechanism? So, the first example is thermoregulation, that is temperature control system. Then second example is pituitary hormone release. Then the third example is CO2 concentration and pulmonary ventilation, and the fourth one is increase in the arterial blood pressure. So, all these are the examples of negative feedback mechanism. So, in thermoregulation, when there is increase in temperature, certain changes occurs which returns the temperature to the normal value. Okay. When there is increase in release of certain pituitary hormones, certain changes occur which return the release to the normal level. Okay. Then the third example, so when CO2 concentration it increases, what happens? It increases the pulmonary ventilation. So, as pulmonary ventilation is increased, lungs will expire greater amount of the CO2. So, due to more expiration of the CO2, what will happen? It will decrease the ECF CO2 concentration to the normal level. Okay. So, the high concentration of CO2 initiates an event, okay, which decreases the concentration towards the normal value. So, this is called as the negative feedback mechanism. So, which is negative to the initial stimuli. Okay. When CO2 concentration decreases, again negative feedback mechanism, it causes increase in CO2 concentration towards the normal value. So, this is the third example. Then another example of negative control mechanism is increase in the arterial blood pressure. So, when there is increase in the arterial blood pressure, okay, series of reactions occur which causes decrease in the blood pressure towards the normal value. Okay. So, again this is example of negative control mechanism. Then the next feedback control mechanism is positive feedback mechanism. This is also called as the vicious cycle. Okay. Now, what is the definition of this positive feedback mechanism? So, this mechanism brings over further increase in variables in response to an initial increase in the variable. So, for example, factor A is there is increase in this factor. Okay. Now, in positive feedback mechanism, there are certain changes which causes further increase in that factor. Okay. Or there is decrease in the factor A, certain changes will cause more decrease in that factor. So this is called as the positive feedback mechanism or vicious cycle. Okay, so it repeats again and again. That's why this is called as the vicious cycle. Okay, now the examples are bleeding, okay, then blood clotting, childbirth, and nerve signal generation. Now we will see these examples one by one. So in normal heart, the 5 liter of blood it is pumped per minute. Okay, now if in certain condition there is a sudden bleeding of 2 liter of blood, okay, so what will happen? The amount of the blood in the body it will decrease. So as there is decrease in the amount of blood, arterial pressure it will fall. Now due to decrease in arterial pressure, what will happen? Blood flow to the heart muscle decreases. Okay, so as blood flow to the heart muscle decreases, it will cause weakening of the heart. Okay, now as heart has become more weak, it will further decrease the pumping. So as pumping has decreased, again it will further decrease the coronary blood flow, and this cycle repeat itself again and again, okay, which causes more weakness of the heart. And if it is not corrected, the end result can be the death of a patient. Okay, so that's why this is a positive feedback mechanism. So here loss of blood is there, which is causing weakening of the heart, and further decrease in the volume, it causes again more weakness of the heart, causing final result as death if it is not corrected. Now this example of positive feedback mechanism is harmful. Okay. Now the next example is blood clotting. Okay. Here again rupture of blood vessel, it causes clot formation. Okay. Now when there is clot formation, activation of the clotting factors occur. Okay. Now due to activation of the clotting factors, again clotting process it proceeds further. As the clotting proceeds further, what happens? There is release of various chemicals. Now these chemicals again increases the clotting process. So here clotting is promoted. Now this whole process seals the break in the blood vessel wall. Okay. So this is a positive feedback mechanism, and this is useful mechanism. Okay. Then another example is childbirth. Now during childbirth, when head gets engaged, it causes strong uterine contractions. Now due to these uterine contractions and engagement of the head, there is stretch of the cervix. Due to this stretch, it sends signals to the body of the uterus, and due to this again there is more powerful uterine contractions. Okay. Now again due to more uterine contraction, there is stretch of the cervix, again it sends signal to the body of the uterus, and more uterine contractions are there. So this cycle repeat itself again and again. So this is a vicious cycle. Okay. So this causes further stretch of the cervix, more stronger contractions, and at the end there is birth of the baby due to this stronger contractions. So strength of the contraction increases gradually. Now the next example is nerve signal generation. Here stimulation of nerve fiber membrane, it causes slight leakage of the sodium ions. Now this causes change in the membrane potential. As there is change in the membrane potential, there is more opening of the channels. Again it causes more change in the potential. So finally it creates the nerve action potential. So this is positive feedback mechanism. So this is all about the homeostasis and feedback control mechanism. So question is there on homeostasis. Most commonly it is define homeostasis and explain the feedback control mechanisms. Here you will need to define the feedback control mechanism, and you have to elaborate or explain the examples of the feedback control mechanism. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.